exciting.
Yes. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
It's been a while. I feel like it's been a month. It probably has been a month or something. Maybe
I'm not sure if it's been a month or not, but I'll go with you.
It's been a while. I don't know. It's been a month since we filmed one, at least.
Definitely. I think I released it a bit after. So yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So it's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a bit of a
pickle.
while.
Bit of a pickle.
And there's reasons for that.
Yeah.
You know, one of the reasons is that your boy Louis, he got the COVID.
As soon as I made fun of Leo for it, I get COVID.
Don't get it. It's not
fun.
It's not fun. But there's that. I think I was coming to the end of my uni semester, so there was a big stressful time with assessments.
Yeah, he was doing school stuff.
But that's done. Ish, kind of, no, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, that was that, and I think this other stuff got in the way. I'm not sure what. I just don't think we found it.
We didn't have time to film it, but now we do.
We do, yes, and we're back, and we're here going to do a classic episode. And the film we're going to be doing is Hellraiser. And that's
we
fun.
both hadn't seen it before doing this.
And we both had very different expectations of what the film's going to be.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that. But we won't talk about our feelings just yet.
Nope.
Because first, we have our sponsor for the episode.
Oh, yeah, sponsor. I keep forgetting we do this.
Yes, so as always, you can scan the QR code in front of you, and you get a link straight to the sponsor. And, so Louis playing with the light right now because the lighting's a bit weird. But that is that. But I'll tell you who our sponsor is.
I don't even know.
For today's episode is whereismyshoelace.weebly.com. So search that up. Where is my shoelace.weebly.com. And it's a lovely tale that is being shown. And there's that. So whereismyshoelace.weebly.com.
Oh my god.
Check them out.
Why did you put so much effort into this?
No, our sponsor did. And thank you, sponsor. We'll get to that. Louis, check that out later.
Oh, check it out later.
We have an episode to do.
Yeah.
But where is my shoelace? He laughed. You know it's good.
I laughed. It's good.
Check it out. But before we do our review, we have our usual segment. And you know what that is? That is the news. And we have a lot of news that we've missed on. Mm-hmm. A lot of this is probably old news by now.
No.
We have our news segment, and a lot of this Louis is already going to know, unfortunately, because it's been a while.
It's been a while.
But for this week's news, and it is the 14th of June, 2022 today, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, it is.
And the first thing is, of course, we're going to do a Scream News Roundup. Basically, we're just going to talk about everything that happened with the Scream news. There's quite a lot to talk about.
Scary movie?
Yeah, I guess so.
What the hell is happening?
So, basically, we'll get through it. So, the first one we're going to talk about is Neve Campbell's exit. Neve Campbell's exit for Scream 6. Yeah.
I'm on her side, but I'm still mad.
Yeah. On the same time, if you don't know, we'll tell you about it. Neve Campbell has left Scream, and mainly because there was a financial dispute. She didn't think she was getting paid enough for
the worth of the franchise.
For the worth of the franchise or the effort that she put in.
Minimal. Well, there's different reports.
Her role is small. Yeah, I mean, we don't know for sure, but we do know it's a financial issue.
Yeah.
And she still loves the franchise. She still is grateful for the fans.
It's a Paramount issue that Paramount didn't want to pay her. Yeah.
And she just wants to just move on, at least for the time being.
Yeah. Which is fair. I think it's fair. I think, Leo, I know I only have this opinion.
Yeah, tell me.
I think it's fair that she has the authority to say no because of financial disputes, because she is the heart of the franchise.
Yeah.
She is my favorite final girl. She is the best final girl, hands down.
As well. Yeah.
So if you don't pay her well enough, you don't give her a good enough role, don't have her in the movie at all.
Yeah.
You know? Her story has been done. You can move on to different stories, but if you're going to offer her a role, if it's not going to be significant to the movie, then don't have her in it at all, and don't have this negative press.
Yeah, I personally would have preferred light drop. I personally would have preferred, I don't know, not to have, Sydney and
Yeah.
Gale in this new one.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like their characters, and of course I want them in the future of the franchise. I don't want them to no longer be in the Scream franchise.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm actually really excited to see where these new characters go.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've established some pretty good new characters. So, if you're kind of rebooting this franchise, I do want to see what happens to them, So I would have preferred, not to have, because in the Scream 5 or Scream 2022, we're gonna admit Gale and Sydney kind of felt not needed,
But they were there enough to be like, okay, we can leave them alone now.
Yeah, they
But
were
then,
cool.
yeah,
and it was
there
like
was
an
no real
alright
importance
send
to
off,
them.
but I just didn't get why they needed to come back.
Yeah, I
Dewey
didn't
had
see
a
that.
purpose.
Yeah.
To
Spoilers.
to die, but
to die.
But I still, I would have, I guess.
I threw my lamp down in anger. I'll pick it back up.
Okay. But Lou, I do think I would have preferred them not to be there. But it's kind of weird now because Gale is going to be in this one.
Is she going to be a major role? Or is she going to be a?
Well,
cameo?
I'll get to it. Actually, we'll get to it.
Oh.
Next thing we're going to talk about is Kirby's returning from Scream 4,
which was hinted at.
Yeah, hinted at. It's like it's
in a YouTube thumbnail.
It's a YouTube thumbnail in the movie, and I'm cool. I'm happy with this. I mean, a lot of fans
yeah.
love Kirby.
I love Kirby.
I love Kirby.
I think she was good.
I love little Kirby. Hi, Kirby.
Oh,
But
oh, is it seen Hellraiser? Is Hellraiser in the way?
Kirby.
Oh, it's funny because it's Kirby.
It's Kirby.
Wow,
It's
that's
Kirby.
amazing.
It's Kirby. I'll just put
From
Hellraiser
Sega.
here. But yeah, Kirby, and I mean, I like her character, so yeah, bring her back.
I say bring back Alison Brie.
Alison Brie.
Yeah, even though she died.
Did she die? Yeah.
Yeah, she died. But I say bring her back as a Force
Why
ghost.
not? Yeah.
As a Force ghost. If we can bring
Do
back
it.
Luke, we can bring back Alison Brie.
Do it.
Anyway.
No, but that's that. So that's cool. And also, this is recent news. Apparently, the new Scream movie is going to be set in New York.
Woodsboro. I mean, New York.
New York. And there's some reasons for that, and I'll show you.
It's going to be snow. I heard something about snow.
There's some photos that were taken, some set photos of NYPD.
I haven't seen these.
NYPD cars. So it kind of was like, oh, this is going to be set in New York. And this makes sense. You know why? Because
Why is it, Leo?
Gail Weathers has a show in New York.
Oh, she's going to get murdered at the beginning.
Who
On her
knows?
news segment.
Maybe. But it would be cool if the entire film was set in New York.
I don't think it would be a good idea to kill her off straight away, like on the first bit, because it's kind of like,
Yeah.
So I feel like they're probably going to get her attacked, and then the gang that like Ghostbusters is going to come back together.
I heard someone say there was like a theory where like, what if Gail was interviewing Kirby on the show, like survivors of the other Scream movies.
That would be nice.
And going, they're kind of like recapping, what happened, but through like an interview format. So that I thought that could be kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I mean, New York could be cool, and it doesn't need to be set in Woodsboro because I like Woodsboro, but
it's kind of it's lost its personality. In the fifth one, it wasn't really Woodsboro. This was my complaint, that it wasn't Woodsboro enough. So if this franchise is going to move away from Woodsboro, it better.
Yeah, do New York, but
New York.
don't full on super
Do
American.
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Do New Jersey.
But yeah, by all means, New York could be a cool idea. So that's that.
I disagree.
You disagree?
They need to come to Melbourne to fight all those druggies and druggies in Melbourne.
Those druggies. But no, that's that. So that's that one. That's that part of the news. Scream Roundup. Can't wait for the film. Very interested to see what it's going to be. People
I'm
talking
less
about the
excited now, but I'm still excited.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm wondering what the title's going to be. You know what I mean? Like
Scream 2.
Is it, or Scream the sequel or something like that? I heard someone else say that before.
That's quite funny.
Scream the sequel.
Scream
or
the sequel.
This has been a popular
Screams.
one. Screams.
Was a Z.
I heard some popular one being Scream 666, like what they did with Halloween 6. But maybe that could allude to like multiple ghost faces, like 666.
Kind of hate that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hate it.
Yeah, 666 seems like you have to do a satanic plot.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's 2 on the nose for me.
Okay. I don't think they're gonna do Scream 6 though. But anyway, that's that. Let's move on. Anyway, that is the Scream news. So yeah.
What's next?
Next up is Stranger Things 5. This has been possible time jump tease.
Yes, I think to the 90s.
So there's I feel like they would have to do like 1989. You know what I mean?
90s.
Like end of the era, end of the decade, end of the show. I feel like it would have to stay in the 80s.
90s, baby.
But apparently, and I'll read my sources. Here we go. So this comes from, I think, Bloody Disgusting. So there was an interview on TV Line Not sure. I think that's a newspaper or something like that.
I don't know.
And there was like conversations about doing a time jump in the future.
Yeah.
And Ross Stuffer says, "I'm sure we will do a time jump." And then he said, "Ideally, we would have shot seasons 4 and 5 back to back, but there was just no feasible way to do that." And they're thinking kind of like because people are gonna grow up, look pretty old.
So
they're thinking of doing a time jump.
So have they written it yet?
I think they've maybe written a plan for season 5. I don't think they've
because they've had so much time since the.
They have, but season 4, they're pretty big scripts. You know what I mean? Those episodes.
Yeah, true.
They're planning season 5, but I don't think they've fully written it. I think they maybe have written it, but like, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I mean, if they're thinking of a time jump,
like,
they can't
finished
have
filming season 4 like 2019. No, 2020.
2020.
Oh, did they have to do?
Well, keep in mind, there was a lot of special effects this season, and like a lot of.
They probably focused on making. I don't know. I'm not.
So I mean, if they need to take their time, I guess take their time because Netflix is probably like, hey, you better nail it because you're like our show.
Yeah, because you're the only show that's keeping people watching Netflix.
So I mean, you're like the one show that's keeping Netflix about. But so that could be interesting. I do think it's going to be set. If they are going to do time jump, I still think they're going to keep the 80s because that's what the show is. It's an 80s show. Like
I think the show's going to end on 1989 at 12 a.m. and it's going to go to 90.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like it's going to like time jump just a couple of years because it's
Hopper's going to die and Elle's going to die and Mike's going to die and Steve's going to die. Steve's going to die.
Yeah, he might die this season. Who knows? But
going to die.
Yeah, but that's that. That's that. So the next one, and this is for you video game fans out there. So this isn't going to be for everyone, but the Resident Evil 4 remake has just been announced.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah,
I have no stakes in this, but I'm excited to actually play.
I mean, I've been playing a lot of the Resident Evil games. I haven't played a lot of the original ones. I'll be completely frank, but I've played like remake 2, remake 3, original 4, 5, 6. Biohazard, 7. Village. I've played those, and I like them. I'm a fan of it, and it's like the biggest kind of horror game franchise.
I've seen Markiplier play them.
Yeah. So, but number 4 is getting a remake, and we've known about this some time. And I'll just read a little bit about it. I don't have too much information on it, but I'll just because there's not too much information. But it's coming March 2023. It's to be released on next gen consoles. So sorry PS4, sorry Xbox One. They're moving on to the next gen, and they're going to be going to PS5, and I don't know the name of the new Xbox console. It's too hard. Xbox X something.
A porn parody.
I don't know, but that's coming to next gen, and it looks good. They haven't released too much footage, not a lot of footage. Like it's like I don't think they're fully kind of. I don't know. They're not done with it.
Yeah, they got another year. So.
It seems like it still needs a bit of touching up, but there's a lot on their shoulders. I mean, Resident Evil 4, people say it's the best of the series. People say it's one of the greatest video games of all time. So you really can't screw with it. Don't pull a Resident Evil 3. Don't cut so much out of it because it's really I've played it. It's a great game, and it's one of the most critically praised games. So don't screw it up. But that's that. And that is the news. That is the news. So we will now cut to some new camera angles.
Jesus Christ. I looked at the GIF.
Resident Evil funny GIF. No, but there's that. So we'll cut to our new camera angles, and we'll talk about the movie Hellraiser.
3, 2, 1.
Ah!
Welcome back, everybody.
Hi. Welcome.
Hello.
This is our new angle. Yes, so the film we're talking about today is this bad boy.
Raising Hell.
Hellraiser,
based on the novelle by Clive
Barker.
Clive
Barker. Now, before we talk about it, I'm going to read the synopsis, and I'm going to just read who's involved from the DVD, because I haven't done my prior research. Okay, so just get off my grill, Dad.
Okay.
Cool. Anyway, so this is directed and written by Clive Barker. As Louis said, it's based off a novella. By the way, we're doing Hellraiser. Clive Barker's Hellraiser. I'm just gonna
read the synopsis.
Read the synopsis.
Read the synopsis.
When journeyman Frank Sean Chapman purchases a mysterious Chinese puzzle box while visiting an exotic country, he returns to his home in England.
It is set in England. I was right.
And unwittingly unlocks a door to hell. Dragged into a frightening dimension whose evil inhabitants, known as Cenobites, test his appetite for pleasure and tolerance for pain, literally tearing him apart in the process. Escaping his sadomasochistic hell, Frank returns to his old household and begins an insidious resurrection that will not only draw the life and soul of everyone around him, but open a portal for Pinhead, Doug Bradley, and his infernal Cenobites to wreak bloody havoc on an unsuspecting world. A gothic masterwork, Hellraiser is the original cult, visceral descent into the depths of the darkest mind. And it's by New World Pictures. It's got lots of people involved. Clive Barker, lots of actors. That's weird. The synopsis is like showing that Frank is like the protagonist. Yeah. But I never thought of him as the protagonist.
No, he was a bitch.
Yeah.
I hated him.
I don't like him. But
we don't like him here.
Sure, like he I guess causes it all. Like everything bad in the film.
But I don't like him.
But I never saw him as like the main character.
No.
Like he was there at the start.
Yeah.
But he was like there for just like an opening. Yeah. And then yes, he's throughout the film.
He was the person that drove the plot, but he didn't really.
But at the same time, I can't really pinpoint a protagonist. Like you can say
There's
girl.
no good guys.
You can say the lady. What's her name again?
Julia. No.
Lydia.
Klein.
Kelly.
Kelly Klein.
Kelly Klein. Is that her name?
No, that's a brand.
Wait,
Julia. Julia is the little girl. No, Julia is the horny one.
I don't know. We should have done our research.
I'll look it up. You keep talking.
We have to refer to these characters, don't we?
You keep talking.
Okay, well, anyway, we felt like, I don't know, it's hard because this is such a weird film that I can't really tell who the protagonist is, you know? I guess the survivor at the end is the protagonist. Spoilers, we are going to spoil the heck out of this film.
Kirsty was the little girl.
Little girl.
I mean, teenager. 20-year-old.
The girl. The one who lives.
Yeah, the one who
Spoilers.
lives. Kirsty.
Spoilers. Kirsty.
You got Larry.
Is that the dad? Dad, Larry.
Frank and Julia, the horny one.
Julia. Sacre bleu!
Sacre bleu! The whole time watching, we were just like, every time she did anything, just, Sacre bleu!
Oh, you naughty, naughty woman.
God, I hate her.
And I hate the guy as well.
I hate everyone in this movie.
Frank sucks. Well, I don't hate everyone in this movie.
Everyone.
Just Frank and Julia.
Especially that doctor.
Go away.
Anyway, we're getting off topic.
No, but before we give our in-depth review, in-depth review.
Pay me.
Yeah, not today. I'm a bit in-depth.
You've been off for 2 weeks.
Yeah, well.
We'll talk about it after.
Sorry. But we'll get to it. We'll just say our overall thoughts now of this movie, Hellraiser. So what did you think of the movie?
Thought it sucked. No, I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I thought it was fine.
It was a weird one.
Yeah, I was expecting more Cenobites driving the plot, but that's because there's been 100 billion sequels.
Yeah,
I would say that I enjoyed that I didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, I didn't know how it was going to go.
I didn't know how it was going to end. For 2/4 of the way through, we thought it was ending, but it wasn't. And it was interesting.
It's a very kind of like
it hooked me on the horror, but the story and the writing wasn't the best. Wasn't hooking.
It was kind of a simple story in a way, but on the same time elaborate. So I
described it first, and then Leo agreed. It was a Tales of the Crypt episode, but long.
Yeah, it felt like a
Tales of the Crypt. It starts off. It was filmed it felt like a TV show production, but a movie as well. That's
towards the start and stuff like that.
And it felt like the exact same start. Like a person finds a mysterious thing, and then like shit goes down, and it feels like the synopsis and a plot of a Tales of the Crypt episode.
Yeah. But I mean, I think it was good. I enjoyed not knowing where it's gonna go.
I understand why it's a classic, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's very strange though. Like I haven't seen a film like it. I guess it's not the craziest. Like, oh my god, this is such a euphoric kind of weird, trippy film. But it's definitely got its own kind of mark, its own kind of look. And but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
More Red Skull than I thought it was going to be.
Red Skull. Oh yeah, like
More Red Skull.
Frank when he's all.
Yeah, Frank only played Frank for a bit, and then just the stunt guy played Frank for the rest of the movie.
I'm pretty sure that must have been the same.
I don't think it was. It was Monster Frank and Frank.
Yeah, but I feel like they play the same actor. The one like whenever Frank's talking, I think it's Frank, just in makeup.
No. I'm pretty sure they dubbed him.
Really?
I think so.
I mean, what would be
In
the
some
point
shots,
of that?
it sounded like they dubbed him.
I feel like we'll look at it. We'll look at it. We'll search it up later. But I'm pretty sure it's still Frank. But anyway, do you want to get to the positives or the negatives first of this movie?
That's a good point. I haven't really categorized them in negatives and positives, but I'll just go through.
Okay, but what do you want to do? Positives or
Let's
negatives?
do positive.
Positives.
It's a classic,
Let's get
so
it
let's
out.
go through positives.
Let's go to the, yeah, do you want to start off?
First, small positive. They shouted out Bob Keane at the beginning.
Bob Keane.
Yeah, remember? It was I forgot what it was, but Bob Keane is credited and the music score goes, "Wah!"
Right,
That was
yeah,
nice.
yeah.
I like it how it appreciates
Bob Keane.
Bob Keane.
He was
what
the
did he
man.
do for it? I don't remember.
I don't remember, but the moment his credit was shown,
Yeah.
the music, the orchestra went. Yeah, I agree with you.
Positives.
Yeah, go for it.
What can you say about positives in this film? Well, the body horror.
The body horror.
The actual graphicness
That's what you're
of this
getting
film
with Hellraiser.
is fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah, I
Like,
agree. That was one of my ones.
There was some weird stuff like when the dad Larry was bleeding. There was a lot of blood falling
Yeah.
out, like dripping. But then it led to a moment where Frank comes out of hell.
I don't know. I thought it was like under the house.
Yeah, his heart was down there or something.
Something.
I don't know. I don't question.
Maybe
it.
some bits of his body parts and they grew into someone.
Sure, and his blood. If you drip blood on the same place another person died from the
Yeah.
Cenobites or something, you get.
It's weird,
brought
but
back.
the whole segment of him, rising from the
out,
goo.
and then like it looked like a spider or a dog.
I thought it was two
and then,
spider arms.
and
yeah.
then a head forms, and the spine clicks onto it.
Yeah.
like a Lego piece.
I thought it was awesome. I mean, yeah, really, bravo.
It looked like well, there's not Lego pieces, but the bigger ones. Not Diablo,
Duplo?
not Duplo, but like the ones that look like army figures. Not army figures, but like
Roblox? No, sorry. I don't know.
I can't remember. But
I
yeah.
don't know. The Playmobil.
Playmobil. No. Yes,
Playmobil,
sure.
something like
Playmobil.
But yeah, I agree. I think the gore was great. And even in the little moments, like, when he cut his, hand on the nail, that made us
Yeah.
scream,
Oh yeah,
It made us
I
cringe.
was
A lot
very
of the gore.
vocal about my scream on that one.
Yeah. We both screamed. There was lots of moments
I
in it
was-
that made us go like, ah! We weren't, terrified. Gene. We weren't terrified, but
Yeah, this wasn't
definitely
a terribly scary movie. It was a terribly disturbing movie.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
say.
but
A lot
I'm
of
sure
cringe.
I'm sure at the time I would have been utterly terrified
Sure,
by it.
yeah, I get
But
that.
it was very. The gore was great, and really bravo because the whole suit when Frank was like half a skeleton and half muscles,
Yeah, that was
looked
really cool.
real and cool.
That was cool.
And I was
I
like,
enjoy that.
that's awesome.
I enjoy
And
that.
that's that was really good. So the gore, I'll give another positive. I thought a lot of the angles and imagery was very unsettling. So there was like for a lot of the angles, I felt there was like lots of close-ups, and at the very start, I saw like Dutch angles, and it kind of
Yeah.
like I kind of was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of like
Yeah.
unnerving. A lot of the imagery of like maggots and cockroaches all
Very
together,
Suspiria to me.
and a lot of it was just like, oh, that's gross, that's creeping me out. And it kind of really succeeded in making me feel unsettled, and
Sure, yeah.
I was just like, oh, gross,
Yeah,
gross.
I feel
Get
like
out of the house.
the beginning, even though the cinematography felt like a TV production and the camera
I will
work,
agree. I will agree.
I do agree that some of the imagery in the beginning, kind of like setup of weird imagery and weird things going on, was definitely good. There was a shot where Kirsty, that's a weird name, was like asking for a towel, and then it panned up to like a weird not demonic, but it looked like an evil angle of Julia, and she was like thinking of how much she wants to have sex with Frank.
Yeah.
And she's just like, and there's like a weird like green and red lighting shining up her face. It looked very good, and I was like,
Yeah.
and it hooked me and made me confused on what is going on.
Yeah, when talking about the cinematography, I also thought there was some really cool shots. Like at the very start, when Frank is like cross-legged and there's all these candles around him, and I was like, that's
That was cool.
That's nice. And they use a lot of close-ups.
Yeah.
and
Maybe in
shit.
like other DVDs, like Blu-ray, it probably looks like a bit more crisp. But we're watching on a
Sure.
is it like an older one?
I don't know. I mean, it has the kind of the new classification
Yeah.
symbol, so I don't think it's
I
an
don't know.
old one. But I don't know.
Oh.
But it did look a little bit at moments like a TV episode, because that was one of my negatives, but I'll get to that later. Do you want to move on to another positive, or?
Yes, let me look. I would say a positive in its own is I didn't know what was going to happen.
Sure.
I was kind of like, because I don't know this series at all. All I know is that torture and pleasure are at the same thing. And Pinhead. And then Chatterbox. That's really all I knew.
Yeah.
And then, so I didn't know what the plot was going to be. I didn't know what the story was going to be. And I was pleasantly surprised. There was a lot more cricket eating than I thought it was going to be. There was a lot more sexual innuendos than I thought it was going to be. But then as soon as I got into it, I was not surprised. Because I was like, you know what? This makes sense for this movie. It was a novella, which are usually more,
to
sexual.
expand upon that, I definitely felt like some of the sexual undertones, like the film kind of feeling kind of raw and kind of, I guess it is overtones. Kind of felt kind of, the film kind of felt sleazy and kind of like felt like kind of gross, but that kind of lent to the idea of pleasure and pain.
It wasn't like we're watching a different movie and then suddenly the sex in it. It felt like this makes sense.
It felt very kind of like macabre,
even though
gross and gritty, but that kind of really helped the film, and I think kind of worked with the film. So I thought that was good.
Certainly raised hell.
Another expanding upon that, but I liked how, and I personally enjoy, and I know it did kind of feel weird by the end of it, but I kind of appreciate how they kind of gave conclusions to stuff that we were thinking about. Like, we're thinking about, like, who's this homeless man, Like, what is he doing here? And though how crazy...
We'll get to that. Should we say it now?
Do you want to save it to the end or now? I mean, I can... Because I'm on the topic, I'll just talk about it now. It's kind of funny, but there's lots of moments in it where, like, we wanted explanations for things, and it was given to us how weird they may be. So the main one we'll talk about was there's like an old kind of homeless man.
Hagrid
with beautiful
piercing
eyes.
eyes.
Oh my god,
I like your
eyes.
Beautiful. Beautiful man.
Yeah, but there's this man who's like
introduced ever so often.
Yeah, he's throughout it doing weird stuff. Like he's like looking at Kirsty, and he's like eating cockroaches at Kirsty's shop. Oh wait, okay, I see the connection now. Sorry, I just thought he was like popped up randomly, but I was like, oh no, he's like stalking Kirsty. So like by the end of it, after Kirsty's like defeated everyone, we're like, okay, what was the homeless guy?
But why is he?
But then he did come out.
Why is he haunting Kirsty?
Yeah, we didn't know.
Kirsty? We don't know that.
We didn't know. But then he came out.
Hold on.
When the house was on fire, I think,
and it burnt very well.
Yeah,
there wasn't a lot left of
and when
house.
Kirsty threw the box into the fire,
and it started melting.
It
started kind of melting. Yeah,
kind of. The old man, the old kind of homeless man came out. And we're like, whoa, whoa! And then he came into the fire,
and he caught on fire.
He caught on fire, and he picked up the box, and he turned into
a
skeleton dragon, a bone dragon,
skeleton dragon.
Well, of course, a bone dragon.
How could we be so naive?
He was a bone dragon.
How could we be so naive to not expect a bone dragon?
And then he flew away.
Guys, I don't know what to say. I'm so sorry that we didn't expect a bone dragon.
He was a bone dragon, and he flew away.
He flew away with the box, and he turned back into an Asian man to sell the box.
I assume so. I mean,
because did the bone dragon give it back to?
I don't know. He might have been just a
homeless man,
someone who worked for the guy. And he was just like, I'm a bone dragon. I don't know. No, but I'm guessing he's a shapeshifter. So we haven't read the book, but that could very well be.
The book's pretty short.
What was intended, and so it was a bone dragon turned into the man at the very start.
I feel like in the script, I feel like it said homeless man turned into bone dragon.
Yeah,
and then flies away.
And then we're gonna just assume.
I feel so silly.
Yeah, we're gonna just assume that he turned into the Asian man at the start, giving the boxes away, and that was part of the ending. But we'll talk about the ending later because I do have something to talk about.
Silly us.
But
I feel so stupid.
Yeah. Do you want to say one? I guess.
I feel like the tone of that Julia and the husband Larry, that their relationship was kind of like not the best at the beginning, was set up. So it kind of makes sense why she was with Frank, even though I don't agree with any of it, because she's a bitch. I hate her. She's the worst.
Yeah.
So I feel like at the beginning, I wrote down like a couple couple is weirdly mean to each other, and they're kind of like rude and not like mean, but they're kind of like awkward around each other. And I feel like that's kind of set up. So I wasn't like shocked. Well, I was shocked that she fucked another man, but I was not. It wasn't like this came out of nowhere. It would be like, oh, she was kind of weird at the beginning.
Yeah. Cool.
So there was good setup and decent character. Throughout, like every character felt like there was their character. It wasn't a deep character. Like Larry wasn't the deepest of characters, if you know what I mean. Up top, if you know what I mean, because his wife was fucking another man. Yeah, you know. So it wasn't the deepest character development, but at least the characters were consistent. I enjoyed them. There was no character that I was like, I hate because of a reason that wasn't intended for the movie. Maybe the movie didn't intend me to hate Julia so much, but I did. I hated her so much.
Yeah, I did hate her so much. Okay, yeah. I upon that, I do like the characters. I like Christy. I like Larry. Obviously, we don't like Julia and Frank. But I cared for the characters. I cared for Christy. I didn't want Christy to be killed. I didn't want Larry to be killed.
Yeah.
Sucked that Larry did get, killed. It's kind of creepy at the end.
But then it was brought back to be good. Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, so I thought, I guess the characters are good, and most of the dialogue was good as well.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like there's no like specific positives I can point out that I can say. It's just the body horror was very nice.
Yeah,
I just wrote down like just notes of like what
I have some
what's
positives.
Happening. Yeah, you can keep going.
Okay, so for me, I really enjoyed every time the Cenobites were on. I thought they were great, intimidating. They for me, I felt scary. So everything. Yeah. Obviously, because we were expecting them to be more of a bigger presence in the movie. Every time they came on, I was like, oh, cool. This is what I believe the movie is. But the Cenobites were great. I thought they were creepy and scary, and some of them, maybe a bit funny, like Butterboy or whatever Butterman was.
He was funny.
Funny, but I think whenever they were on, it was really cool, and and I also really enjoyed. I also really enjoyed kind of the premonitions that Christy had. I thought they were cool when watching them.
I thought they could have gone a bit further with it.
Yeah. Here's one thing actually. I'm going to sound like a bit of a hypocrite now.
What?
I did wonder, how did you get the premonitions? I didn't fully explain that.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm wrong. I guess they didn't full on give every explanation.
They didn't really explain what the premonition was.
That wasn't a major question in my head. Like, I didn't care too much.
That was a question in my head.
Okay.
I was very curious on
grow up.
Okay, it was just like they made such a big deal of it. Of like and then I was just like, oh, premonition. And then I guess it just made her more concerned for her father, which led to a plot point where like she was like, I need to see my dad, and like, your dad's dead. And that kind of led to that, going back to the house and going to find Frank.
Was maybe the box calling to her?
Yeah. Also, no, this is negative, so keep going.
Okay. Well, I'm kind of towards the end of my positives. So do you want to move on to the negatives?
Negatives. I'm just a bit confused on. So she faints after seeing, dead body and Frank, call her beautiful, and flirt with her. Which, if your uncle flirts with you, step away from them. Don't do that. So she runs away with the box because he doesn't, and she throws out the window and she runs away. She faints. She wakes up and she has amnesia. She can't remember how she got there. She was like, I don't remember.
Right.
I don't. Yeah, and I was like, okay, you don't remember. Okay, so she starts playing with the box, and the Cenobites come out, and then suddenly when they're confronted, she's just like, I saw Frank. I saw Frank. I'm like, how much did she just get amnesia for? For just what happened, or did she get amnesia for the whole thing? It was kind of confusing on because she didn't really seem concerned about what was happening in the hospital. She kind of was like, oh, let's play with this box, and not like, I just saw my weird uncle who's made out of flesh. It just felt like, how much did she forget? I don't know. And then suddenly when it was important, she remembered Frank's still alive, and then the Cenobites were like, well, shit, man. Also, how did the Cenobites know he was gone? I feel like that would have been something.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So there was a bit of continuity errors, and a kind of
yeah.
Okay. So continuity errors and continuity things that I felt like weren't explained as much as they could have been. But it's fine.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. Who cares? I do, and it wasn't my favorite part.
Yeah. Okay, we'll move on to some negatives for me. So, one of the negatives I will say, and this isn't a major negative. This one feels like a bit of a nitpick. So maybe I might save it for later. Actually, I'll go to another one. To another one. When they were doing the flashbacks, right, where it was like, was it Julia? I forgot her name. Julia, the one we don't
the
like.
Sexy times.
The Frank flashbacks.
Yeah.
It felt a bit cheesy to me. Like, it felt really cheesy. It felt like a soap opera. Like, when she was just going like...
Yeah, and she was just like, I want you. You can do anything.
So, like, she was like, really terrified by her thoughts. Oh. And then she was like, oh, no.
I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative for me. But she was horny the whole movie.
I know. But yeah, one of the negatives is we don't like the character. But I just felt like that segment, when the flashbacks were playing, it played so much like a soap opera.
Yeah, and the music as well. And the acting, like, this was actually negative. The staging of, like, he comes in and he's in the rain, is like, can I come in? And she's like, oh, yeah, you can come in. And then he comes in, he's standing right in front of her. I was like, so, you have a towel? Yeah. And she's like, yes, of course. And then I'm just like, what am I watching?
It felt like a soap opera, and it was a bit awkward to watch. So I just kind of felt like cheesy. And I also kind of connected to how it feels like it was a bit like shot for TV for the first half of it. Like, for the second half, you can tell, they're going to budget.
They put the budget in the later.
Yeah, but, like, for the first half, I was like, this feels like something that's shot for TV. And it just didn't feel...
I was more...
It felt kind of cheesy and soap opera-y. It became good, but as you said, it feels like a Tales of the Crypt episode. It felt like a soap opera.
Yeah. But, like, a massive negative for me is... I didn't feel bad. Maybe this was important. Maybe this was the purpose. But it didn't... And it kind of did support my engagement in the film. But I hated Julia so much. She just leave your husband, be with Frank. Why did you then go back to Larry? There was no explanation of, like, she's having sex with Frank for the wedding. This was before they got married, because I'm pretty sure, like, I'm here for the wedding. So then just ditch Larry, be with Frank. But then she would get dumped by Frank, because Frank's only like a one woman a week kind of guy, I'm pretty sure. So then get your heart broken, die in a ditch, and then everyone's happy. There's no hell raised.
Okay. Yeah.
No, but just, like, they try to make her feel, like, sympathetic when she, like, felt guilty about killing these people to get Frank back. And she's like, oh, no, I don't want to do it. She did it. And she was like, oh, I feel guilty, and, like, I don't really want to do this. And I'm like, yeah, you do, you bitch. I hate you.
Ouch.
Sorry, I just don't feel bad. I'm not saying bitch as a gender term. I just like that swear word. But, like, I say bitch to everyone. Leo's a bitch. So, like, I just don't like her. Frank's the bitch.
Yeah.
Well, every character in
Frank
this movie
and Julia,
is a bitch.
they're bad. They're both bad.
They're a bad couple.
They're baddies. No,
and also, like, she like, everything she did in the movie, every dramatic figure, like, dramatic form she did, she, like, moved her blood, she looked like David Bowie every scene. She just seemed like she was about to have sex.
Okay.
It looks like she was, like, always lusting for something, and I was so uncomfortable.
That's got to do with her character, I guess.
Yeah. So it's just, it felt like she was always, like, when she was getting, like, what made her riled up was looking at a photo of Frank and obviously reimagining what she did on their wedding night of Larry, and she just like holding it to her chest. She's like feeling it all over her body, and she goes upstairs to the room and she just like fantasizing over it, and then she gets disturbed. Her fantasy gets disturbed by Kirsty by asking for a towel, and she looks at her evilly. Like, I'm just like, this woman is evil.
Yeah.
Like, you disturb my sex fantasy, you die. It's like, I guess so. It made me engage in the film a bit more because I was like making fun of her. But then it kind of showed like she felt bad about killing people, but I was too busy hating her for me to care about her guilt.
Yeah. All right, I'll move on to another one of my negatives.
Her conflicted tone doesn't make me like her. She pretends to care about her husband, even if she doesn't want to kill this guy. She still does to keep her.
That whole thing about I guess the whole thing about, you know, the one scene where Frank was about to kill Larry, and they're both like, you know,
on the bed making out,
and she was like, no. It's like, I get that you still care for him.
Is she in love with Frank?
I think she's in love.
It felt like they only met one time.
I don't know. I think she's in love with Frank, but I think
his sex was so good.
I think there was more times probably shown in the film. I just wasn't paying attention. But I think she loves Frank, but still maybe loves Larry as like a friend or just cares enough for him.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of humanity there. So I guess that kind of humanized her a little bit as a character, but still she's evil. We still think she's evil.
Gets what she deserves.
So basically, yeah, another one. This was a nitpick because I don't have too many solid oh, this is a bad thing about the film because I think it was mostly good.
Yeah.
Another nitpick for me, and this kind of didn't sit well with me, is when Larry, I think his name, when he cut his hand, he made all this effort to walk upstairs and go into the room
and bleed on it,
and bleed on the ground,
a whole bunch of blood,
and it just felt like, oh, that didn't feel natural to me. Like that kind of felt like, oh, why would he go all the way up if he's feeling like really woozy?
Yeah,
up the
also
stairs?
like.
Just cool for her to come down.
Yeah, it felt like a plot needed for it to happen, but you could have done that at any time. You could have had them bleed there at any time, and also, like, that amount of blood got him to sentience, but a whole body, like 4 different bodies didn't get him enough.
Yeah, that's a bit weird. Isn't it?
It felt like it wasn't consistent.
It took 4. Yeah, so a little bit blood brought him back, but like it took like 4 people to die to. Yeah. Even then, he wasn't full, was he? He just cut off the skin of Larry and put that on. So that was, I thought that was kind of creepy. Yeah. You know, when he put Larry's skin on. Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that. I thought that was very obscene. I was gonna be like, oh no.
And that was a creepy ending. But yeah, I just think that was a bit like, oh, that didn't feel natural when Larry walked up with the bloody hand and put the blood everywhere on the ground.
I wrote a note. The killing makes her more horny.
Really?
And then it says it makes her more tolerable for stuff. She's a bitch, and I don't like her.
Do you not like her?
No, I don't.
No. Yeah.
And like Larry was such a good guy. He would rather check if they're safe. Like the rest of my notes are more like just observations I found. Like Larry was such a good guy. He wanted to check if they were safe and not have no, let's wait to have sex. Need to check the room to check if we're safe. And he's a good man. Also, I like when he knocks on the door and says, "You want a cookie, little girl?" What? He like knocks on her door because he's feeling sick.
There was also that one customer at the pet shop who looked like she was dubbed like all her lines.
Yeah,
she was like, "Oh no!"
Oh, best part of the movie though, when Frank is forming again, what noise do they make come out of his mouth? Ah!
Yeah, that was funny. Okay,
perfect.
Another negative of mine, I think, is that, and this is once again a nitpick. I feel like it ended like really quickly. Yeah. Like I felt like, it was like so quick from big bone dragon, and then it cut straight to back at the Chinese shop and somebody buying the box, cube, and then it suddenly stopped. Yeah, and it was just like really quick. Yeah, and there was like not really too much nuance about it because it just happened like really quick. Yeah. And I don't know why. Maybe I shouldn't be complaining. It wasn't that big of a deal. The ending, I was fine with the ending, but it just felt like it happened so fast. I kind of felt like, oh, because immediately after that, the credits just rolled really fast. Sure. And I was just kind of felt like, oh, a bit jarred. But
I didn't feel that, but sure, I can.
It was. That. Yeah, it was just. It's not that big of a deal, but I felt like it took so long to get to the end, and when the ending happened, it happened really quick. Yeah. But I guess that's the biggest of nitpicks. Like that, they're hardly that bad, but I was struggling to find really like proper negatives with it.
I think my hatred for Julia really spans from how manipulative Frank is, because Frank knew her for like 10 minutes, and then they sex. It was just like, and he was so forward on her. And like, sure, it goes with her disloyalty, but he hook, lined, and sinkered into her mind forever. And that's just showing how Frank is a little manipulative asshole. But also Julia sucks. I hate Julia. But like, they knew each other for. I'm so stuck on this because Julia.
But that's the thing. They're meant to be bad characters.
Yeah, they're meant to be bad, and she gets dead.
Yeah, Okay, well, I don't have too much more to say, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just wrote kinky.
Kinky.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was just mainly just like, my biggest complaints is with the character of Kirsty and why Frank went to them having sex and then cut a rat and then left. A lot of confusing stuff happens in this movie.
But yeah. All right, we'll just move on. Yeah. So that's that. So how do we feel about the film? So just quick as the recaps of what our rating system is. At the very bottom we have shit show, which is just like dog shit, really bad, horrible. Above that we have bore snore, get out the door.
Indeed.
That means it's just like it was just boring. I guess maybe someone will like it, but it just wasn't for us, and we would leave the theater if we could. The one above that is disappointment. So it's like it could be
book appointment for disappointment.
Book appointment for disappointment. It could be a alright film if you weren't such a fan of the franchise or something like that. It's just a film that we went in and we were like, oh, like really? Like we wanted better things. We were expecting better things, but we just
disappointment.
Maybe had a great concept and just failed to live up to that concept. Just something that's like could have been good, but we were disappointed with the outcome of what they produced. Then above that is, hey, it's fun. It's just a film that was good. We enjoyed our time with it. It wasn't the best film ever. It wasn't amazing by any stretch of the means, but it was good and we enjoyed it. And yeah, that was that. And then above that we have Fantastically Splendid, which is a great film. It was good. Check it out. Hardly anything wrong with it.
Go and see it.
Go and see it. It's good. We understand why people like it. Whatever. You know what I mean? And then at the very top there is classic. This is a masterpiece.
Classic.
We love this movie.
So
the
good.
flaws are minimal.
We feel like Julia in the film.
Yeah. Ooh-wee. It's a great film, and we love it, and you gotta watch it, and it's top tier. For this film, what did you feel? I
would say, if I had no preconceived notions of this film, I've like kind of two rankings, but I'll make it one. Like if I was kind of like the concept wasn't as good as it could have been. I feel like it kind of like focused more on the love aspect and more of the Frank aspect. And I'm like, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, we went in.
But that's my fault.
Movie.
So yeah. If I'm going with my fault, it would be a book appointment disappointment and a half. But if I'm going with just how it went with the experience and how I'm keeping all my preconceived notions out of my head, hey, it's fun.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's much lower than what I was going to give it.
What are you going to give it?
I was going to give it, like, to be honest with you, my experience of it was, hey, it's fun. Yeah. Like, I enjoyed it, and I thought it was good. Yeah. And there's some... But if I really think about it, the thematics just worked really well for me, and if I took away my thought of it was going to be a torture porn about the whatever these guys are called, Cenobites, and as an actual kind of like film, it does have some moments I'm like, this is kind of cheesy, but there's so much kind of like cool, creepy stuff, and the gore's awesome, and I think it's just done really well. I'll give it like a really like low Fantastically Splendid.
I just
because I know it's a classic, and I feel like it deserves to be a classic, but I'm not gonna give it classic. You know what I mean?
No,
I feel like it's a high. Hey, it's fun.
For me, it's like this movie won't stick in my head.
Okay.
I feel like this, it's not maybe a film built for me, or like I enjoyed elements of it. I enjoyed hating characters, and I enjoyed the Bone Dragon, and I enjoyed. Maybe because but even if I was expecting what I was expecting, I wouldn't have loved what I've expected anyway.
Actually,
but what I got is just like, it just could have been better. Just was good, solid. I won't think about it. didn't have a lasting thing on me. But actually, Splendid's last on me. This one.
Okay, I'll change it. So for me, it's a hey, it's fun.
You can do it in a half.
Like a hey, it's a high, hey, it's fun. Because I do think with the story, because I don't know how they could make it better with the story they told. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if they're telling this story, I think they told this story well, if not a bit cheesy. But
yeah, I feel like they could have done it.
If this is their script, if this is the novella that they were basing it upon, then I think they did it well.
And when I say book appointment disappointment, I don't mean it's bad. I just mean like there are more elements of it which I was disappointed in, and that's my fault for expecting a bit more Cenobites, but also like. If I went on this not knowing what it was going to be, I feel like I would have felt kind of a similar way. And like it was focusing a lot on this other aspect. And obviously it's impossible for me to not know what this movie is about. You know, it's impossible. So even like halfway through, I stopped thinking we're going to see Cenobites. And I still was experiencing that. But I will give it a hate's fun. Yeah. Because that's on my fault partly. But I'll give it a hate's fun. Because that's what I believe.
Yeah, I think it's a hey, it's fun for me. I think it's a high hey, it's fun because I really think it nails some aspects really well. But yeah, it's a bit cheesy.
We have to wrap because we're running out of battery.
Are we?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's that.
That's that.
And now to do the trivia. Trivia. Cut to me.
Just green trivia.
Cut on to me.
I will cut.
All right, everybody. So here is trivia time. Okay, so we're gonna first answer the question from last week, which Jigsaw was very kindly asking you all when I was having a break.
Pinhead because he's a bit of a prick.
Yeah.
You get it?
Nice one.
Yeah.
Nice. I mean, he's staring at me right now, but no, I look at that. No, but basically, the question that Jigsaw asked you was who out of the victims in the original movie Saw did not get a tape? We named a bunch of them. He named a bunch of them. It was like Zepp, Dr. Lawrence, Paul was one of them.
Yeah, Emma.
And Amanda.
Oops.
And the answer is Amanda. So if you're watching,
she technically
she
doesn't
didn't
get a tape.
She doesn't get
She gets a
cassette tape. She gets a video played for her.
Sneaky.
So there you go, a bit of a question. But this week's question, in keeping with the Hellraiser theme, is that there's been lots of titles for the movie Hellraiser around the world, and some strange titles indeed. But this one is specifically for Thailand. So you have to tell me Taiwan.
Yeah, Taiwan.
Taiwan. Okay, thank you, Louis.
You're welcome.
Thailand. No, Taiwan. Okay, I don't have a breakdown like last time.
I gave him the questions just then.
Yeah,
so
just then. But
here
we go.
Didn't get a proofread.
So, which of these titles for Hellraiser was the version in Taiwan?
Indeed.
Right,
Taiwan.
got it. So, was it, here we go, Door to Hell? Was it Cursed Fire? Was it Lords of Hell? Or was it Raise Ghosts and Eat People? So those are the 4 options. Tell me which one
I know what it
was
is.
the Taiwan version. You can't
I'm
say
gonna
it.
say it.
You can't say it.
I'm gonna
Cut
say
it
it.
quickly. Someone cut it before he says it.